In this position, we can play queen takes e4 check. If queen to e2, we take the queen with knight takes e2. And if bishop to e2, knight to f3 is a beautiful checkmate. The trap. Let's start with the moves. e4, e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, bishop to c4. This opening is called Italian game, and we play knight to d4, sacrificing a pawn on e5, and this is called Blackburne Shilling Gambit. And now black is already setting a trap. Let's see what happens if white takes the pawn on e5 with knight takes e5. White wins the pawn on e5, and it looks like black has simply blundered a pawn. But that's exactly what black wants. After knight takes e5, black has the powerful move queen to g5, and now the queen is attacking the knight on e5 and white pawn on g2. This is the position where the Blackburne Shilling Gambit really begins. Main line. Now let's look at the main line. After knight takes e5, queen to g5, white decides to grab another pawn with knight takes on f7, and this looks tempting because white is forking the rook on h8 and queen on g5 and has already won 2 pawns. But black doesn't care about the rook. Black plays queen takes on g2, sacrificing our rook on h8 and attacking opponent rook on s1. We'll see what happens if knight takes h8 later. For now, let's see what if white tries to defend his rook with rook to f1. But now comes another powerful move, queen takes on e4 check. White has 2 choices here. If queen to e2, black simply plays knight takes e2, winning the queen. And if white instead tries bishop to e2, black finishes the trap with a beautiful checkmate, knight to f3 checkmate. So after knight takes e5, white can very quickly go from winning pawns to getting completely destroyed. That's the main idea of the Blackburne Shilling Gambit, knight takes on h8. But what if white sees the danger and decides to take the rook immediately? White can play knight takes on h8, but black has a much bigger threat. Queen takes on h1 check. The queen takes the rook on h1 with check. White has only one legal move, bishop to f1, and black continues with queen takes e4 check. Again, the queen takes the e4 pawn with check. Now white is left with 2 options again. If queen to e2, then knight takes e2 wins the queen. And if white tries bishop to e2, here black has gained a dangerous attack. And just look at the evaluation bar. The important lesson is don't assume that taking the rook means you have escaped the trap. Best continuation for white. So how can white actually avoid the Blackburne Shilling trap? The best move is very simple. Instead of taking the pawn with knight takes e5, white should just take the knight. Knight takes on d4. Now black recaptures, he takes d4. White simply castles, and white has avoided all of the dangerous tactics. And look at the evaluation bar again. Better for white now. If you enjoyed this episode, comment below which opening trap you want to see in the next episode.